The hypothalamus is sometimes referred to as the master control center of the endocrine system because it regulates most endocrine functions of the body. Located at the base of the brain in the anterior portion of the diencephalon, the hypothalamus consists of several groups of neurons called nuclei, each with specific functions. The stalk-like infundibulum connects the hypothalamus to the pituitary gland or hypophysis. The pituitary gland sits within the hypophyseal fossa of the sphenoid bone and is divided into anterior and posterior lobes. Each lobe of the pituitary gland interacts with the hypothalamus in a different way. The anterior pituitary, or adenohypophysis, is connected to the hypothalamus by a blood vessel network known as the hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal system. Hormones released by the hypothalamus travel through the portal system and regulate activities of the anterior pituitary. In contrast, the posterior pituitary, or neurohypophysis, is connected to the hypothalamus by neurons that form the hypothalamo-hypophyseal tract. Axons of these neurons transport hormones from the hypothalamus for storage in the posterior pituitary. The anterior pituitary is regulated by two classes of hypothalamic hormones: releasing hormones and inhibiting hormones. These hormones reach the anterior pituitary via the hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal system and stimulate or suppress secretion of anterior pituitary hormones. Hormones secreted by the anterior pituitary then enter the bloodstream for distribution to their specific target tissues. For example, thyrotropin-releasing hormones secreted by the hypothalamus stimulates thyrotropic cells of the anterior pituitary to increase secretion of thyroid-stimulating hormone, which then regulates activity of the thyroid gland. The posterior pituitary produces no hormones of its own. Rather, neurosecretory cells in the hypothalamus synthesize two hormones: antidiuretic hormone, known as ADH or vasopressin, and oxytocin, that are transported to the posterior pituitary via the hypothalamo-hypophyseal tract. These hormones are stored in nerve terminals in the posterior pituitary and released into the blood upon stimulation of the axons. Each hormone has distinct functions. ADH acts on the kidneys to increase water retention from renal tubules. It also acts to constrict blood vessels. Oxytocin causes smooth muscle contraction in both the male and female reproductive tracts. It also stimulates milk ejection by the lactating mammary glands.